legacy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Robbins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues, and thank you, Gary Hart, for that intro. Today we're going to talk with Cynthia Mosley and Bobby Brown. We're going to talk about some good stuff for you veterans out there. Get your pens. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I appreciate you staying with us, and I know you got your pen like I asked you to do. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody out there don't have. Go ahead and get your pen. All right. He's got it now, so we can go ahead and get started. And yeah, everybody's got a pen. Everybody's ready. And we're going to talk about helping and homing. And this is simply what it says, helping with and homing and helping with homing. And my guests are Bobby Brown and Cynthia Mosley. I want to make sure I get that right. Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Bobby, good to see you again.
As
Bobby
always.
and I seeing too much of each other here lately. For disclosure, we serve on the State Board of Veterans Affairs together, and last week we went down to the Robert L. Howard Veterans Home. What do you think about that, Betty?
I thought it was one of the most awesome facilities that I've ever seen. I was totally surprised.
Yeah.
Surprised.
Isn't it nice to know that our fellow veterans live in a place like that?
It's simply a great institution.
You couldn't go to a ski lodge out in the mountains in Colorado and somewhere and see something better.
Not
than
at
that.
all.
It's really nice. We're proud of that. Cynthia, let's talk about helping and homing.
All right.
I think I know what it's about, but I want you to tell the audience.
So the way that the program works is we purchase houses and we renovate them, make them more livable, nice, ask for donations from the community to help furnish it. And we offer a 6-month to as-needed basis program for veterans to come in and get off the streets.
Is that like the right place type stuff, or are you familiar with them?
I'm vaguely familiar with them.
Yeah.
It's similar. I've
Okay.
actually been in contact with the right place a little bit.
We've had them on here, and then we've had the, what's the other one that Jimmy Carter was over for a long time?
Humanity.
Habitat for
Yeah,
Humanity.
Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, and they do a version of that, so go ahead with all y'all do.
Okay, so that's basically it. It's a program. We get them off the streets, and that's without an address. It's very difficult for anyone to be able to apply for benefits, to be able to get a job or anything. So we provide an address for a period of time. We'll reevaluate after a certain period and see how it's going, and if they need more time, then we offer more time.
They're down in Alabama, we can use that word Overair. I live over there.
Yes.
Down yonder, over yonder by the, yeah. But that's it's so right. You know, a lot of the veterans that are drawing disability that are homeless, and some of them are homeless by choice.
Right.
You know, we have a homeless program on the State Board of Veterans Affairs, and I was surprised when we got the data back that we had about 800, 900 homeless veterans that they found in the state, and 70% of them were in wooded areas. Like when you come off the interstate,
Yeah.
that's where they found them, in the wooded areas, not in the downtown Birmingham's and places like that. So, and people are homeless for various reasons. We could go into all that, from divorces to just
Right.
don't want to be around nobody.
Right.
That's me. I hate people. But they, so, and what I didn't hear you tell me is how you get your money. Are you a foundation, or you?
We are a 501c3. We received our certification in October, but they backdated it to April 13th of
And the foundation
2017.
is called
It's Helping and Homing Incorporated.
Incorporated, okay.
Mhm.
And that means they can get a deduction. So
Yes.
you go find a house that's needs renovating or something,
Yes, we
and
do.
you renovate it and you have it for the veteran. Do they have to pay?
No, it's completely rent-free. Utilities, everything's provided.
Wow.
And we get donations from the community.
That's awesome.
I've got a Facebook page where you can donate to, and then we ask. We
Shoot,
have
I'm gonna just
donation
move out of
boxes.
my place. I have to pay too many bills. That's awesome though, because we have a lot of veterans out here that they are homeless but no fault of their own.
Right.
And again, I said a lot of people just don't want to be around people. They're unsociable, and they just choose to be off to themselves. I don't know if you remember, we had a guy that called him Sarge, walked up and down Quintard years and years. And when he died, I was the one that they called. He had no relatives. That guy had more money in his bank account than most of the bankers around here.
I had heard.
Well, it was true. I
yeah.
had to go get this. He had savings account, checking account, and he was staying in it was the old Victoria now. Then, that's where he was living. And smoking them cigars, walking down the street. So you never know. But he just was there by choice, and he was a master sergeant, E8, I think it was. So, Bobby, what do we know about, talk about with yours there? It's, I got you got an event coming up?
I do. First of all, I'd like to publicly thank you for the opportunity to come on and talk about this event. And I thank you for your past work, and just want to get that off my chest.
Well, you
I
got
appreciate
it.
you.
I think, Brian, I'll pay you later.
What we're doing is basically we are joining all the service organizations together to make an effort to reach out to veterans that in Calhoun County alone, there's about 15,000 honorably discharged veterans. That's our target area, but we've included and expanded it in a 4-county area that is basically in line with the District 15 of the American Legion. We're bringing in the Marine Corps League as a co-host, the American Legion, and the DAV, and coupled, the event will be held on Saturday, August the 18th. It'll be from 12 noon to 5 o'clock, and it's going to be located at the Anniston Elks Lodge number 189, which is located down on 1019 South Noble Street here in Anniston. They're also a co-sponsor. So you see, we've expanded our target areas, and we've got some help, kind of like what the military taught us about cooperation in their service. So we're excited about it, and what we're setting it up for is there'll be counselors available from the various organizations. The PTSD van will be there with a counselor. The VA health representatives will be there to do intakes on health care. There will also be VA education representatives, as well as a job service. So we've got many faceted angles of approach. The young Marines will be there to help us do the logistics. We're going to serve hot dogs and hamburgers there at the Elks, which has an awesome facility.
They do.
So Jacksonville State and Gadsden State have also agreed to send representatives to enroll people if they opt to use their GI Bill and benefits to continue in a further education.
You know when they have the supermarket of veteran benefit things that we've had around here? Is it on the line of that?
It's similar to that. We're trying to cookie cut it for a statewide situation. And what we're doing is we're working through the Legion, through the DAV, and through the Marine Corps League. It is very similar to that in its approach. We want to get more specific and get, and this is an adage, boots on the ground to help these young men and women and their families in support activities through the GI benefits and other areas. Helping and homing is also one of the co-hosts, and I enjoy a position with Cynthia and her husband Daniel as a board member. And you see, we can target so many people, and with the strength of 4 counties, Calhoun, Etowah, Claiborne, and of course St. Clair. That's the target area, and we're hoping with media such as yourself and other avenues that we can expand this outreach.
I'll hold that thought while we go to a break here. We got to go pay the bills, come back. We'll be right back with some more use that you can use stuff. Get a pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues, and we're talking with Cynthia and Bobby, and we're talking about helping and homing and a lot of other stuff. Cynthia, we went to break. I want to talk about this. There's I've got a flyer on it. It's about the fundraiser you got going. We're going to give away a vehicle.
We will.
Wanna talk about that.
So we're actually in the process of selling tickets now. We've got 500 that we're trying to get rid of.
How much are they?
They're $20 a ticket.
$20 a ticket.
$20 a ticket, but you win a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's in pretty good shape. It's a 2002, so it's used, but it is a very good vehicle. It's been looked over by a mechanic. and you know, it's in pretty good shape. So $20 for a vehicle, I think, is a pretty good
Well,
pretty good
I'm
deal
looking
there.
at the wheels are worth that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. When you gonna give that away on July the 14th?
July the 14th, we're having an all-day event. It's going from 12 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We're starting, actually it starts earlier. We're starting out the morning with a two-man scramble golf tournament.
That's over in Saks. at
Indian
the,
Oaks Golf Course.
Yeah, at the
Yes, sir.
Indian Oaks Golf Course.
Yes.
That's that thing where they got holes in the ground. And yep. Been to one of them one time.
So the
Okay.
drawing will be at 6 o'clock that evening.
Who's the donor on that? Who gave you the van?
That would be my uncle, David
Yeah.
Boyd.
Okay, y'all know Uncle. What's his name?
David Boyd.
Thank you, David. That's I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. But I may
Yeah.
buy a ticket before we get out of here.
Okay.
But then again, they say, no, they worked that on TV, and they give him preference or something. Otherwise, I'd do that. And the thing about this, Bobby, is he's talking about the Elks Club. They've just for years and years they laid here as just a little bingo place, and then they sent these people as the honor flight, and they're coming into being like the only veterans organization in this area that's doing anything anymore.
Interesting point. Glad you brought it up. As a member of the Elks, and the mission that they have is very supportive of veterans in particular, but the community in general, as you said. But I did not know this, but they award more money nationally from their national organization than the federal government does on scholarships for various reasons.
Absolutely.
And I had no idea. And it's a great lodge down. We want to expose that lodge. We want to show there's a swimming pool down there. I mean, there's all kinds of activities. But the bottom line is they're very community conscious, and it's fit hand in hand. And when I requested that they consider us hosting the event there, they were all on board. They offered up their kitchen services, and of course it's a bingo parlor existing, but we can put those tables, and then we'll have a triage, and we can direct you to whichever agency you need.
Years ago, my Vietnam veterans, we sponsored a bingo up at Piedmont, and the Elks were down here on Nobles and a few other places, and ever so often we had meetings that we had to go to keep our license before the bingo commission. And one of the things we had to do is show what we were doing with the funds. And I was always looking, man, the smallest little organization out here is giving the most scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my Vietnam veteran, we decided to do that. We're going to put a twist to it. We wouldn't give scholarships to the one with the high grade point average. We'd give it to those that wanted to go to cosmetology or woodworking or whatever, mechanic school or something
Right.
like that, where they get out and make a living. And
Vocational.
And so we were giving out 10, 11, sometimes 12 scholarships a year at $1,000, and it really helped us kids. We just gave them $1,000. You know, you need gas money, you need food, whatever. It helped them with that education. Some of them hadn't forgot it, but that's an awesome thing. I think about the Elks down there doing all that great work. What am I leaving out here now?
Oh.
Y'all gonna have to help me out here. I know things you got to be talking about.
I think one of the points too on helping and homing, if I may,
Of course.
it's a dual fold purpose
Right.
by establishing the residency for these claimants to be adjudicated through the process. You have to have that hard address. But on the other side, it also helps your community by taking some of the houses. I'm not going to say blight, but close to it.
Absolutely.
And recycling them and making them livable domiciles. And I think that increases everything from property values, and it certainly helps aesthetically to have someone in some of these houses.
Absolutely. I can go show you some places like that. We used to have our chapter house over in East Anniston. It's good houses, just needed doors fixed on and the windows and things like that, and they'd be right back into.
And that's exactly what we're looking for.
Okay.
That's what we look for, something that we can put some work into, and it completely change what it is.
Yeah, you don't want one where you're going to be frozen pipes and all that stuff. And this is but you hand this off to the veteran, and that's just, he doesn't take ownership, like deeding the title and nothing like that.
Right.
He's just there as long as he needs a house. That it.
Yep.
There's
Exactly.
no time limit on it.
You know, we like to keep it within a a period, but no, if as long as the need still exists, then they're welcome there.
Do you have for families too, the veteran, maybe the spouse and the veteran and one of his
Current-
kids?
Currently, we don't have a house that's large enough to hold all of that, but we're looking for it. We're working towards it.
Come out, look at this, these tiny houses, places. You ever seen those things?
Yes.
I had a fellow on here, and they're doing that down south, out of South Alabama for veterans. You go in to say how much you need. If it's you and your wife, you get a loft and whatever, you know. They'll contour the house to your needs. But that's an awesome thought in itself.
I've seen that.
I want one of them myself. It'd be a lot less to clean. But
Well, I think the other thing, having worked extensively as you have with veterans, let's give them a shot. Let's try to help them get on their feet.
Yeah.
They're not asking for anything. They're asking for a little head start for whatever damage that they have, whether it be mental, physical. That's what we're after.
we've had situations where young soldiers come back from Afghanistan and they look for jobs, and there's no jobs out there. Even at the government bases, there wasn't jobs available, and they got bills to pay and 3 kids and whatever, and they end up, some of them get into suicidal mode like that because they feel like they're losers, but there was nobody out there to help them out.
Exactly.
Like they couldn't afford the $600 and $700 house note. And if you come back from Afghanistan, 23-year-old, and you put on your resume your last job as a paid killer, you know, how many people you know looking for paid killers? So maybe Hillary Clinton. No, I didn't say that. That is, I wish I had. Yes, I did. But anyhow, that's one of the things they do. They don't have a resume that they can put out there because they've been out shooting up the hills, and they come in here, and I know this for a fact on a couple of them. And they one guy's lost his wife down in Pell City and lost her home and everything. He's not homeless, but he's been through the rough time, and it was all based upon he went served his country.
Too many of those cases are out there.
Yeah, but Alabama is doing a lot to remedy some of that. They're giving, if you got a driver's license, commercial driver's license in the military, they will honor that in Alabama. You don't have to go get another test or pay for that.
Right.
Yeah, and if you're a licensed electrician or something, they'll
Sure.
honor that. So, and even if the wife, if you're transferred during that time, the wife loses her job because she has to give up the travel, they will give you unemployment here. Anything else I left out? We got like 10 seconds.
I think we're good. Bye.
Well, I'd like to add that we're helping and homing. So in addition to houses, we also offer up any other things. Like recently we purchased an air purifier for an individual who had just had lung surgery.
Oh, that's where the helping comes in.
Yes, that's the help.
Well, that's important too. Well, I appreciate you coming on here today.
As
I
always.
appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Now, here's the deal. Y'all got to come back before next couple of months. We got some more to talk about.
Sounds good.
We got to go to break. Sometime. This is when we're going to talk about some news that you can use. So get this with the pen. Get the pen. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I appreciate Bobby and Cynthia for coming doing the show today. We're going to have them back on here. We got some bunch of stuff to talk about. We left on the table today, and so we do appreciate them coming here. I hope that everybody voted. I did, and I hope you voted right. And if you don't, I'm gonna find out about it, and I'm gonna be on you if you didn't vote the right way. I want to say something. Just not a political thing, but what's going on in North and South Korea is very, very emotional to me. When I saw the other day that there's a possibility that in a week or so we could end a war that's been going on for 70 years. I don't think a lot of people have put that in perspective, what it will mean for the average person. But we've been at war in Korea for 70 years. And that might change next Tuesday. When we're doing the next show, we may be sitting there witnessing history. And that is such an awesome thing. I want you to do your homework on it and see what that's really going to mean to this country when those two countries are. If you look at North Korea at night on the satellite, it's all lit up like Las Vegas. On the DMZ, you look at South Korea, it's dark as a dungeon. And now those people, I'm thinking about the Korean people, And now we'll get to see something. They're saying maybe we can get a McDonald's. Maybe we can get a think about that. That's going to be a big thing for this world, not just for the United States, but for the whole world. If we can get a treaty, a truce or something to end that war next week. Great time to be alive in America. We finished up the firefighters memorial up in the park. All of the names of the firefighters that's been killed in the line of duty are on there. And I'll give you an announcement here in another week or so. We're going to dedicate it. I'll probably have the governor back up here for that. And that's been a long thing. That's about a $50,000 effort. But we got it done, and it's paid for. And it's up there in Centennial Park. If you'd like to see it. I want to mention the folks that sponsor the show, Superior Hyundai, Mac Huckabee, and all those guys. I've known Mac for 30 years. They'll give you $500 off of a new car if you bring your DD-214 there, show that you're military. If you tell them that you saw that on this show, Ken Rollins said that he'd give another $500 off. So you get $1,000 off of a new Hyundai if you tell them you saw it on this show and you take your DD-214. That ain't a bad deal, folks. And you're welcome. The VA hotline number is 1-855-948-2311. And the crisis line, if you know somebody that's in distress, wants to take their life or somebody else's, 1-800-273-8255. And when the voice comes on, press 1. I got to tell you about this Wounded Warrior Alabama group. They're the only group that I know of that's helping veterans. When I got a veteran in need, that's the one. They're building a ramp for an 86-year-old veteran right now. WoundedWarriorAlabama@gmail.com. Phone number is 256-458-2715. That's Bill Williams. You tell him I told you to call, and they're helping everybody. Okay, we're running out of time. I don't know if we can get to talk about all this. Buy that law enforcement tag the next time you get one. Revenue helps us with the park up there. Okay, let's see. I think we're running out of time now. This week's salute. These salutes are real expensive, so I'm gonna give this salute this week to all the law enforcement officers out there that are doing their work, protecting us, keeping us safe. We'll see you next week here right on Veterans Issues. Salute.